The story continues with unexpected twists. What happens next will leave you speechless. This episode uncovers secrets no one saw coming. Watch till the end. You'll be shocked. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share, and turn on your notification bell. This is the beginning of this story. Agent Rebecca brought shocking news. "We found evidence," she said. "Evidence of what?" Daniel asked. "Someone inside your company is still working for Victor," Rebecca replied. Daniel's heart raced. He thought of everyone. Employees, managers, friends. Then Rebecca showed him a name. Tara Williams. Daniel froze. Tara was his executive assistant. Someone he trusted deeply. Someone who knew everything. Daniel began watching Tara closely. She acted normal. Too normal. But small details betrayed her. Late-night emails. Secret phone calls. Hidden files. One evening, Daniel confronted her. "Tara," he said calmly, "have you been talking to Victor?" Tara laughed nervously. "Of course not," she said. But her eyes told a different story. Daniel knew. Victor still had eyes inside his life. One night, Zoe refused to sleep alone. "Daddy," she whispered, "I feel like someone is watching our house." Daniel felt chills. He checked the security cameras. Nothing. But deep inside, he felt the same fear. Victor was not just threatening them. He was haunting them. Agent Rebecca created a plan. They would use the hidden money as bait. "If Victor wants control," she said, "he will come for the rest of the money." Daniel hesitated. "That's dangerous," he said. Rebecca nodded. "Yes. But it's the only way to catch him." Daniel looked at Maya. Maya held his hand. "Let's finish this," she said quietly. Daniel nodded. The trap was set. Victor finally made a move. He sent a message. The rooftop was silent except for the sound of the wind. Daniel stood frozen. Tara's hand trembled as she pointed the gun at him. "Don't move," she said. Victor smiled calmly, as if everything was under his control. "You see, Daniel," Victor said softly, "people are easier to control than money." Daniel looked at Tara. "Why?" he asked quietly. "I trusted you." Tara's eyes filled with tears. "I didn't want to do this," she said. "But Victor owns my life." Victor stepped closer. "Tara owes me everything," he said. Tara spoke with a shaking voice. "Years ago, my brother was arrested because of Victor's business," she said. "He promised to destroy his life if I didn't work for him." Daniel felt anger and pity at the same time. "So you betrayed me to save your family?" he asked. Tara nodded slowly. "Yes," she whispered. Daniel realized something painful. Everyone in Victor's world was either a victim or a weapon. Victor thought he had won. But he didn't know everything. Daniel spoke calmly. "You talk too much, Victor," he said. Victor raised an eyebrow. Suddenly, lights flashed around the rooftop. Police sirens echoed through the city. FBI agents appeared from every direction. Tara dropped the gun in shock. Victor's smile disappeared. For the first time, he looked surprised. Agent Rebecca stepped forward. "It's over, Victor," she said firmly. Victor stepped back slowly. "You think this is over?" he asked calmly. He turned and ran toward the stairs. Agents chased him. Daniel watched with his heart pounding. For years, Victor had controlled everyone. But now, he was running. The powerful man was finally afraid. Minutes later, Rebecca returned. Her expression was serious. "We caught him," she said. Daniel felt his knees weaken. Finally. The nightmare was ending. That night, Daniel returned home. Maya ran toward him. "Are you okay?" she asked. Daniel nodded. "It's over," he said quietly. Maya covered her mouth in shock. "Victor has been arrested." Tears rolled down her face. Zoe ran into Daniel's arms. "Daddy!" she shouted happily. Daniel hugged his family tightly. For the first time in months, the house felt warm again. But deep inside, Daniel knew something. Arresting Victor was not the same as ending his influence. Weeks later, the trial began. The courtroom was full. Reporters, lawyers, witnesses. Victor sat calmly in his seat, wearing a suit. He looked confident, almost fearless. Daniel sat beside Maya. When Victor looked at them, he smiled slightly. Daniel felt chills. Even in chains, Victor looked powerful. Rebecca whispered, "This man is dangerous, even without weapons." Daniel nodded. He understood. Victor didn't fight with fists. He fought with minds. Maya stood before the court. Her voice trembled at first. But as she spoke, her courage grew. She told everything. How Victor manipulated her. How he threatened her family. How he forced her to move the money. The courtroom was silent. When she finished, Daniel felt proud of her. She was no longer afraid. She was free. Tara also testified. She cried openly. "I betrayed Daniel," she said. "But I was trapped." The judge listened carefully. The jury listened too. For the first time, Tara was not hiding. She was telling the truth. And truth is always painful. When it was Victor's turn to speak, everyone expected silence. But he stood up confidently. "I am not the villain you think," he said calmly. The courtroom murmured. Victor looked directly at Daniel. "Daniel Carter also benefited from my system," he said. Daniel froze. "What is he talking about?" Maya whispered. Victor continued. "Your company grew faster than normal because of my hidden networks," he said. "You just didn't know it." The courtroom exploded in whispers. Daniel felt dizzy. Was Victor telling the truth? Had his success been built partly on something dirty? The truth hit harder than betrayal. That night, Daniel sat alone in his office. He stared at his company records. Victor's words haunted him. "What if he's right?" he whispered. Maya entered quietly. "You okay?" she asked. Daniel looked at her. "For the first time, I don't know who I am anymore," he said. Maya sat beside him. "You are the man who protected his family," she said softly. Daniel held her hand. But deep inside, he felt something terrifying. The story was not just about betrayal anymore. It was about identity, truth, and the price of success. The next day in court, the prosecutor presented new evidence. Large screens lit up in the courtroom. Financial graphs. Hidden transactions. Secret partnerships. Agent Rebecca spoke clearly. "These records show that Daniel Carter's company unknowingly benefited from Victor Hale's underground network," she said. Daniel felt his chest tighten. The courtroom went silent. Maya looked at him with shock. "So, is it true?" she whispered. Daniel shook his head slowly. "I didn't know," he said. But doubt had already entered the room. News spread fast. Headlines flooded the internet. Tech CEO built empire on hidden criminal network. Daniel's phone wouldn't stop ringing. Investors pulled out. Partners canceled deals. Employees whispered behind his back. In 1 week, Daniel lost everything he had worked for. That night, he sat alone in his empty office. For the first time, he understood how fragile success was. At home, Maya confronted him. "Daniel," she said quietly, "did you ever suspect something was wrong?" Daniel looked at the floor. "I saw opportunities coming too easily sometimes," he admitted. "But I believed it was hard work and luck." Maya felt torn. She loved him. But she also felt betrayed by the truth. "I left you because I thought I was protecting you," she said softly. "Now I feel like we were both living in a lie." Daniel felt the weight of her words. Inside prison, Victor watched the news on television. He smiled slowly. His lawyer sat beside him. "You planned this," the lawyer said. Victor nodded calmly. I told you, he replied. Even if I lose in court, Daniel will lose his world. Victor didn't need money anymore. He wanted revenge. And he was getting it. One evening, Zoe sat beside Daniel. Daddy, she asked gently, are we poor now? Daniel froze. He forced a smile. No, he said. We're just starting again. Zoe nodded. But people at school said you're a bad man, she said. Daniel felt his heart break. He hugged her tightly. No matter what they say, he whispered, your father is trying to do the right thing. But deep inside, he wasn't sure anymore. Marcus visited Daniel with unexpected news. There's a way out, Marcus said. What kind of way? Daniel asked. Marcus lowered his voice. Some investors are willing to save your company, he said. But they want you to stay silent about Victor's network. Daniel stared at him. So they want me to lie again? Marcus nodded slowly. If you refuse, your company dies completely, he said. Daniel felt trapped. Truth would destroy him. Silence would save him. But silence would make him part of the same system Victor created. That night, Daniel told Maya everything. She listened quietly. When he finished, she said something unexpected. Choose truth, she said firmly. Daniel looked at her in shock. But if I choose truth, we lose everything, he said. Maya held his hand. We already lost everything once, she said softly. But we didn't lose each other. Daniel felt tears in his eyes. For the first time, he understood what real wealth was. The next day, Daniel called a press conference. Reporters filled the hall. Cameras flashed. Daniel stood before the microphones. His hands trembled. I want to tell the truth, he said. The room went silent. I did not knowingly work with Victor Hale, he continued. But my company benefited from his illegal network. And for that, I take responsibility. The reporters exploded with questions. But Daniel continued. I will shut down any part of my business connected to corruption, he said. Even if it destroys my company. Maya watched from the crowd. Tears rolled down her face. She had never been prouder of him. Within days, Daniel's company collapsed. Thousands of employees lost jobs. Investors sued him. His bank accounts were frozen. The luxury penthouse was sold. Daniel, Maya, and Zoe moved into a small apartment. For the first time in years, Daniel felt truly poor. But he also felt strangely free. One night, Daniel sat on the balcony of their small apartment. Maya joined him. Do you regret it? She asked softly. Daniel thought for a long time. Then he shook his head. No, he said. Maya smiled faintly. Why? She asked. Daniel looked at the city lights. Because for the first time, he said quietly, I know my success is clean. Maya held his hand. Their life was smaller. But their hearts were stronger. And somewhere far away, Victor Hale watched the news again. But this time, he wasn't smiling. Because he realized something. Daniel had lost everything. But he had also become dangerous. Because a man with nothing left to lose is the most powerful man alive. Daniel's life had changed completely. No luxury cars. No private office. No powerful friends. Every morning, he woke up in a small apartment, walked to a modest co-working space, and started rebuilding his life from zero. Some people laughed at him. Some people pitied him. But Daniel felt something he had never felt before. Peace. For the first time, he was not living a lie. Maya tried to be strong, but guilt followed her everywhere. One night, she sat alone in the kitchen. I destroyed your life, she whispered. Daniel stood behind her. You didn't destroy my life, he said gently. You revealed the truth. Maya looked at him with tears. But I still feel like a criminal, she said. Daniel held her hands. We both made mistakes, he said softly. But we are still here. For the first time, Maya understood something. Love is not about perfection. It is about staying when everything is broken. Inside prison, Victor Hale made a phone call. Not to Daniel. Not to Maya. But to someone unexpected. "Is everything ready?" Victor asked calmly. A voice replied, "Yes. Daniel Carter won't see it coming." Victor smiled slowly. Even behind bars, he was still dangerous. One evening, Marcus rushed into Daniel's apartment. "Daniel," he said urgently, "we have a problem." "What kind of problem?" Daniel asked. Marcus looked serious. "The hidden money Maya saved," he said, "has resurfaced." Daniel froze. "What do you mean?" Marcus showed him documents. Someone had accessed the digital wallet. Millions of dollars were moving again. But Daniel didn't touch it. Maya didn't touch it. Someone else did. Agent Rebecca investigated the situation. Days later, she came with shocking news. "The money is now linked to a new identity," she said. "Who?" Daniel asked. Rebecca hesitated. Then she said the name. "Zoe Carter." Daniel's heart stopped. "That's impossible," he whispered. Zoe was only 8 years old. How could her name be connected to millions of dollars? Rebecca explained everything. Victor had secretly transferred the hidden money into Zoe's name using fake documents. If the money remained active, Zoe would be legally connected to criminal funds. That meant only one thing. Victor wanted to destroy Daniel in a new way. Not by killing him, but by destroying his daughter's future. Daniel felt rage like never before. "He's using my child," he whispered. For the first time, Daniel wanted revenge. Marcus gave Daniel 2 options. "Option 1, Marcus said, we report everything. Zoe will be investigated, but she will be cleared eventually." "And option 2? Daniel asked. Marcus looked away. "You secretly move the money and erase the trail," he said. "But that means breaking the law." Daniel felt trapped again. Truth would hurt his daughter. Lies would protect her. He remembered his old life. How lies had destroyed everything. Maya held his hand. "Choose truth again," she whispered. Daniel closed his eyes and made his decision. Daniel went to the authorities voluntarily. He told them everything. About the hidden money. About Victor's plan. About Zoe's name. The investigation began. Reporters returned. Headlines appeared again. But this time, the story was different. Former CEO refuses to protect himself, chooses truth again. Daniel didn't fight the accusations. He fought for his daughter's innocence. One night, Zoe asked Daniel, "Daddy, am I a bad person?" Daniel knelt beside her. "No," he said firmly. "You are the best thing that ever happened to me." "But why are people talking about me?" she asked. Daniel hugged her tightly. "Because sometimes, good people are attacked by bad people," he said. Zoe nodded slowly. "I'm not scared," she said softly. "I have you and Mommy." Daniel felt tears in his eyes. For the first time, he understood real courage. Months later, the court made a final ruling. Victor Hale was found guilty of multiple crimes: financial fraud, extortion, identity manipulation, psychological abuse. His sentence was heavy. He would never control anyone again. When Daniel heard the verdict, he didn't feel happy. He felt relieved. The nightmare was finally ending. After the trial, something surprising happened. The government decided to return part of the recovered money to Daniel legally. Because he had cooperated fully. Daniel stared at the official letter. He could rebuild his life again. But this time, he hesitated. Money had once destroyed his family. Would he let it happen again? Daniel made a surprising decision. Instead of rebuilding a giant company, he started a small tech firm. No illegal connections. No shortcuts. No corruption. He hired people who had lost jobs because of his company's collapse. Slowly, His business grew. Not fast, but clean and honest. Maya started working with victims of financial abuse. She spoke publicly about manipulation and fear. Many women listened to her story. She was no longer ashamed. She was helping others. And that healed her soul. One evening, Zoe told Daniel, "Daddy, I want to be a lawyer." Daniel smiled. "Why?" he asked. "So I can protect people from bad men like Victor," she said. Daniel hugged her tightly. He realized something. Even pain can create purpose. One day, Daniel received a letter from prison. From Victor. Daniel hesitated before opening it. Inside, the letter read, "You won, Daniel. But you also lost everything that made you powerful. I wonder, was it worth it?" Daniel stared at the words for a long time. Then he folded the letter and smiled. Daniel wrote back, not with anger, not with pride, but with truth. "Yes, Victor, it was worth it, because I didn't lose my soul." He sent the letter, and never thought about Victor again. Years passed. Daniel's small company became stable. Not huge, not famous, but respected. His family became closer. Their home was simple, but full of laughter. One night, Daniel sat with Maya on the balcony. "Do you ever miss the old life?" Maya asked. Daniel thought for a moment. Then he shook his head. "No," he said. "I prefer the real one." Maya smiled. Daniel watched Zoe doing her homework. He realized something powerful. Money can be stolen. Reputation can be destroyed. But character cannot be taken away. And that was his true wealth. Daniel understood the lesson of his life. Sometimes, losing everything is the only way to find what truly matters. He had lost money. He had lost power. He had lost pride. But he had gained something bigger. Truth. Family. Peace. On a quiet evening, Daniel stood beside Maya and Zoe. The city lights shone in the distance. Not as bright as before, but more beautiful. Maya held his hand. Zoe hugged him tightly. Daniel smiled. He was no longer a billionaire. He was no longer powerful. But he was finally free. And for the first time in his life, he was truly rich.